Okay, we're going to get the kids as they come in. Then we're going to move the camera so that we can get a little bit better picture for you. But for now, this is where we're going to leave it so we can get them as they come in. Game starts at 4:30. Just be patient with us. No referees as of yet. No sign of either team.
Starting cat. Starting what happened to your head? Huh? What happened to your head? Fell off. Yeah, we have one head. You rushed him, man. The same wrestler. They don't memorize who the captain is. Well, they know. They couldn't watch it.
Referees on the ice in just a couple minutes.
One and a half cells.
Waiting to go on the calendar?
No.
All right.
I had to get it.
Oh, your score sheet for the last 7?
Yeah, that was like we're going to start on time.
How's your English test? It was good, man. Are you just saying that?
It was good.
It'll be fine. He finished before everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a
I don't know
good
if that's
thing.
good or thing.
That's definitely a bad thing. Never a good thing.
I doubt it.
What? You have Fernandez?
Yeah. I have Fernandez and Anderson. I am actually. Probably not. We need the microphone to be a little bit closer. So he was, and then the lead was Anderson check it out. 5 recorders. You're editing.
Go, boys. Here we go.
Yeah. All right. Just a second here. I'm going to try to talk over the music so we don't lose the feed based on copyright type stuff. All right, let's see what we got here. That's one end of the rink, and that's the other. So we'll go a little bit over here. Georgetown Prep in their signature silver gray buckets to our right. Landon, the home squad in these quarterfinals, finishing third in the MAPHL, just behind Gonzaga and St. John's. Lost one game in the MAPHL, and that was to Gonzaga. Landon gets the home game in the quarterfinals. Winner plays in the semis at the Gardens Ice House in somewhere up in Maryland on Friday, either 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. We'll try to make it there if the Bears make it as well. Now, if anybody comes off the ice, I'm going to have to get the heck out of the way. Certainly after the second period when both teams come off the ice, I'm literally attached to the glass on the door to the rink where the players come in. One minute, 50 seconds to go in the warm-ups. Earlier in the season, these teams met in a Maple and IAC double counting game, which Landon won 4-2 on a Friday night. Now my suggestion would be, since teams are in two different divisions, for example, the IAC and the Maple, instead of having the one game against that team count for both standings, I think the way they should do it is play two different games. The first game would be the one that counts for the IAC or the Maple, or vice versa. Second being the opposite. I think if you have the same team in two divisions, like the 5 teams in the Maple, they should play those teams twice. 5 teams in the IAC, they should play those teams twice, each counting for a different league. But as they do it, the double counting game. This one, because Landon won the IAC regular season and postseason title, we're off to the Maple playoffs. Georgetown Prep won their game yesterday, which launched them into the quarterfinals to play at Landon. "20 seconds left in the warm-ups. Game is ready to start in just a couple of minutes. We'll have to get all the pucks out of the goals first, and then get ready to rock. And once again, I'm on the glass instead of being up higher. Hopefully it's a little bit of a better view for you. Certainly clearer, certainly closer, but there are things that I won't be able to see because I am at ice level and things are in the way. For example, Dash Kaufman in the IAC championship last week scored the game-winning goal, and I originally called it as Percon and then changed it to Daymud. So it was on the other end of the ice. I couldn't tell who scored, but it was Dash Kaufman, the sophomore with the game winner in the IAC championship. And teams will head over to their bench, clear the pucks out of the net, and get ready to roll. Landon will be playing without Watts Coakley, number 13, who's missed the last month and a half or so with injury, as well as Captain Blazer, the captain, number 2, injured in the IAC finals first shift. Landon played that entire IAC final with 5 defensemen, trying to make up for the typical half the amount of game that Caden would have played. And they won it for him, which is a good thing. But you always miss the presence of your captain and one of your best defensemen for sure. Quiet rink today. It was 4:30 start. A little early for kids to get here. They have their own sports to deal with. 5:30 start. They're able to get here. At least many of them are able to get here. But if they make the semifinals, we expect to see a contingent of bust-in kids from Landon to the Gardens Ice House in Laurel, which is about another 35 minutes from here, which makes it about an hour and a half away from anywhere. Landon will send out Percon, Daymud, Hank Maddox, the senior, Haberl, and Kaufman on defense. Face-off controlled by Landon. They send it forward, intercepted by Prep at the red line, and they'll dump it in. First shot on goal by Georgetown Prep. Number 11 recovers it at the blue line. Referee is slightly in the way, and that will happen from time to time. Again, get you close to the action. I think it's worth it. Here's number 9, winding and firing. Shot blocked by Haberl. Puck ends up in the slot. Sloppy by Landon in the early going. Reed Percon comes away with it, and he'll head the other way. Puts the brakes on, blows a tire. Recovered by Prep. They try to clear it. Hits the leg of the referee, and ultimately to center ice. And Nicholas Nyberg, the freshman wearing the number 5, sends it in for Binner to chase with Jambardino, who recovers a puck, sends it into the slot. Shot attempt by Binner doesn't go, and Schmink backhands it into the netting. We will have a face-off with 13:57 to go. First period, no score. Owen Moore will take it. He's out there with Jambardino and Binner. Defensemen Smink and Nyberg. Puck controlled by Prep off the faceoff. They tried to clear. Booted in by Smink and cleared by Prep. They're going to bring it the other way. Try to get a breakaway. Knocked away by Nyberg. Puck ends up in the corner. It's loose. Smink recovers. Goes around with the backhand. Looks for somewhere to go, ultimately cleared out, recovered by number 14 in the neutral zone. And he looks for somewhere to go with it, intercepted by Owen Moore, who backhands it deep into the zone. And they'll go off for a change. Trip Silva leads the charge in the offensive zone, recovered by Haberl. He winds and fires, shot goes wide by a couple of feet, recovered by McShane. Prep tries to clear, and they will. They'll skate it out and get rubbed into the boards by McShane, recovered by Bitterman, number 17, the sophomore. Goes along the near board, sends it behind the net for Silva, taken away from him, recovered by Haberl in the corner, popped away from him onto the stick of number 8. Looks to clear, and will, but onto the stick of Chipperfield. Sends it over to Haberl once again along the near board. Centering pass for Bitterman, can't handle it, and the net comes off the mooring. We'll get another whistle with 12:37 to go. No score. Percon back out there with Maddox and Demude. Chipperfield and Haberl on defense. Again, they'll be rotating 5 defensemen. We'll see if we see Smink or Haberl on the left wing of Percon from time to time, as we saw in the IAC finals. Probably a lot less than expected with the injury early in that game to Blazer. Here's Chipperfield. Played a great game in the IAC finals. Demude with it. Gains the zone. Takes a shot. It goes wide. Recovered by Percon. Poked away from him. And Chipperfield sends it back into the zone. Chased by Percon and Maddox. Again, we get a check against the boards here. I'm going to bail out like you wouldn't believe, because there's a shot that goes onto the net from the red line. Poked away by Rosenstock. There's Percon with it. It was popped away from him momentarily. Takes a shot, saved by the goaltender for Prep. First shot on goal for Landon. And there's Schmink. Gets it over to Binner. Bothered by number 7. He takes a hit to the back of the head, goes down. Puck goes all the way behind the net into the far corner, where Chipperfield gets it over to Smink, who lead the charge up. And there's a hit right in front of us, so you know what that you know exactly what that feels like. That was literally a hit right in front of the camera. At 11 minutes to go, first period. Again, no score. Both teams coming out quick in this one. Whoever loses, their season's done. So it's a final game for somebody. We won't have any ties. This will end in a shootout if it has to. There's a clearance onto the stick of Smink. He sends it into the corner all the way around for number 16 on Prep to clear it out. Over to the stick of Nyberg, who sends it back in. Trip Silva, the freshman, will chase. Cleared out once again, sent back in by Nyberg. Goes into the corner. Zach Genzer again, the freshman wearing a number 19 tries to recover it. It's blocked away by Biederman and comes out to center ice, where Nyberg once again will send it in. Nyberg again at the point, puts a shot on net, poked aside. Biederman ridden into the boards, no call. There comes number 16 for Prep. Gains the blue line, shot, save by Rosenstock with 9:50 to go. First period, no score. Prep gets out a new 5, as does Landon. Haberl and Kaufman on defense. You'll have Damoud, Maddox, and Perkon up front. Perkon takes a faceoff, won by Prep. Shot save by Rosenstock off the quick shot off the one faceoff. And here comes Maddox with it. He's got Perkon to his right. Tries to get around the defender, poked away momentarily, and cleared out of the zone by Prep. Now again, I can't get too close to the camera here. The last thing you want to do is put your face anywhere near the glass, because if a hit comes on the other end, you're going to get smushed. So I'll keep my melon a good foot from this glass. The camera, iPhone, is about 4 inches from the glass, so any hit's going to feel like it's hitting you right in the phone. Sent in. Kaufman will go get it. Switches places with Haberl and gives it to Perkon. Long pass up. Icing is waved off. Goes all the way behind the net for Jambardino to chase. Comes around. Owen Moore throws a body on the defender. Puck still loose in the slot. Binner trying to recover. Clearance attempt by Prep, kept in by Jambardino. He winds and fires. Saved with the glove by the goaltender, and he'll get a whistle with 8:38 to go. First period. Face-off will be deep in Prep zone. They'll whistle it again. Didn't like the way that one started. Owen Moore will take it with Jambardino to his right. Binner to his left. Smink and Nyberg, the junior and freshman, on defense. Face-off controlled by Landon. Nyberg's going to wind and fire. Puck is deflected in the slot. They try to clear it. Kept in by Landon. It is popped out of the zone. Recovered by Moore. It's it over to Smink. Near his own zone, he winds wheels and sends it back in himself. Good play by Jambardino to poke it all the way into the zone, avoid the icing. Puck is loose. Kept in by Nyberg. Centering pass for Binner. Shot just tipped wide. Shot showing 4-on-4 on the board. Relatively even game so far. Here's Jambardino. Nice pass up for Moore. And he sends it deep. Landon will get a few new players on the ice, including Chipperfield and Haberl, as well as McShane, wearing the number 22, the freshman. Puck goes all the way deep. McShane chases, rattled along the far boards, kept in by Perkon. He takes a hit, loses his stick. McShane recovers. Perkon recovers his stick. Puck goes along the near boards. They try to clear. Kept in momentarily by Chipperfield. And you can't see it, neither can I, but it's loose in the corner, recovered by Prep. They bring it back the other way, takes a hit from Deskovich against the boards, and that'll be an icing on Prep. We'll have a face-off deep in the Prep zone. 7:04 to go, first period. Quite the opposite from the ruckus crowd we saw for the finals. That's to be expected with the early start time and the quarterfinal versus a final. Had this been a semifinal or a final, Landon would have probably rescheduled this later or let the kids out a little bit early to jump on the bus. Here's Kaufman at the blue line. Winds and fires. Shot is deflected right into the breadbasket of the goaltender, and he'll hold on for a whistle. Halfway through the first period in this one. No score as of yet. Again, Landon playing without Coakley, number 13, the junior, and the senior captain, defenseman Caden Blazer. Here's Maddox, sends it deep. Clearance attempt, successful by Prep. They gain the blue line, send it over number 8, shot with the backhand, sent on net, cleared away by Rosenstock. Kaufman with the puck at his feet, he gets it up to Damude, trying to take on 3 defenders. He's got Perkon to his right, gets it to him, gets around the defender, puts the brakes on in the corner, looks for somewhere to go. Puck dribbles out toward the slot, onto the stick of Damude, saved by the goaltender. We get a whistle. Didn't have the puck, but we get the whistle anyway because the referee couldn't see it. We believe he assumed the goaltender had control of the puck, but he did not. Perhaps the net went off its moorings. We'll see. Face off deep in the Prep zone. Bitterman out there with McShane and Silva, 2 freshmen and a sophomore. Here's Bitterman with it. He backhands it back into the zone. Good forecheck by Landon, trying to get control of the puck. They cannot so far. But Prep finally clears it out of the zone, and that'll be an offsides on McShane. It just dribbled over the blue line while McShane was still in the zone when Nyberg sent it in. So we'll have a face-off just outside the blue line. Same 5 for Landon. 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores on the ice. Include your goalie, 4 freshmen. It's a backhander sent in. Chipperfield goes back to get it, sends it over to Nyberg. He lets it go through his legs for McShane. Good play by Nyberg. Moving it quickly is Bitterman. There's a shot that bleeds onto the net, sticked aside by the goaltender. Easy save for him. They try a centering pass. Bitterman tries to recover. Still loose along the far boards and cleared by Prep. It'll go all the way down. Icing has been waved off. Nyberg recovers over to Chipperfield. Coach Parker showing a lot of faith in these freshmen and sophomore players. Again, not a junior or a senior on the ice on that shift. Face-off will be deep in the Landon zone. Kaufman and Haberl on defense. Binner, Owen Moore, and Declan Jambardino up front. Face-off controlled by Prep. They wind and fire. Shot is deflected high into the netting. We get another whistle. Face-off controlled by Landon. Kaufman backhands it over to Haberl and Binner. They both get control of it. Onto the stick of Jambardino. He gains the blue line. Tries to get around the defender. They push it into the corner. He goes over to get it. Knocked away from him along the near boards. They try to clear. Kept in by Kaufman with the skate. It goes all the way around. Far corner. Kept in once again by Landon and dribbled out by Prep. Sent all the way back in by Landon. 4:43 to go. First period of scoreless game so far. And that'll be another offside. So we'll have a face-off just outside the blue line. Prep skating right to left in the first and third periods. Landon skating left to right in those periods. Of course, the opposite in the second period, known as the long change period, where teams will be defending their goal further away from their bench. That's why the second period is like that rather than the first and third. Teams only have to defend the long change, as they call it, 1 period per game. Perkon will take the face-off. He's out there with Genzer and Damude. Recovered by Prep. They try to send it in. Intercepted. Perkon with it. He's on his horse. He gains the blue line. Winds and fires. Shot goes wide. Rattles all the way around. Kept in by Smink. He sends it on the net. Sticked aside easily by the goaltender. But good shot by Smink, keeping it on the ground. Here's Prep. They look to break out 2-on-3. They wind and fire. Easy save by Rosenstock. And he does the right thing as they crash the net on him. And he gets the whistle. held his ground as they came in and threw the snow on him. Landon will change 3, leaving it Percon, Damude, Maddox, Chipperfield, and Haberl. There's a shot that goes wide off several deflections in the slot. Kept in momentarily by Prep and popped out by Landon. Percon fights for it. There's a long pass across ice, intercepted by Prep. They look to go somewhere with it. Percon pokes it away momentarily. It's cleared, but taken away by Percon with the help of Damude. Goes into the corner. He takes a hit. Puck loose in the slot. Shot goes wide, recovered by Prep, and they clear it. That will be an icing with 3:25 to go in the first period. Now, in a game like this, with how tight it is, it almost begs for a Percon mini breakaway where his mates follow him to the net, crash the net, and pop in a rebound if there is one. Bitterman out there with McShane and Silva, Chipperfield and Haberl at the back. With Chipperfield, he sends it in, goes into the near boards. They try to clear, kept in by McShane and cleared out. Chipperfield tries to send it in, goes off the leg of his own player. Haberl gains the blue line. McShane winds and fires. Shot saved by the goaltender. And here's Haberl. Takes a hit along the boards, gets it forward to McShane. He fights for it, pinned against the boards, recovered by Prep, and they clear. 2:45 to go. First period. Tight matchup so far. Shots show 11-6 on the board. That seems representative from what we saw. Landon has had the run of play after the first couple of minutes of the period started. Comes Haberl. Here's a change going on for Prep. They got 3 men on the ice. Giambardino winds and fires, blocked by the leg of a Prep player. Puck loose in the slot, cleared away by the defenseman into the corner. Landon with it behind the net, looks for somewhere to go. Winds and fires. Shot goes all the way to the far boards, and Prep comes out 3-on-2 if they can move. Kaufman throws a body on the puck carrier as a shot just goes wide or deflected or saved. I couldn't tell. The referee was right my way. There's a wind and fire saved by the blocker of Rosenstock. Puck gets loose in the slot onto the stick of number 3. Looks for somewhere to go. It goes into the corner. Binner with it. 1:42 to go. Best chances right there for Prep in the game thus far. Binner fights for it. So does Haberl. He's going to pop it out of there. Icing is waved off. Covered by number 13. Bothered by Giambardino. 1:20 to go. First period. Percon still out there as well. Puck comes to Kaufman, pops it up in the middle of the ice, looking for Giambardino, recovered by Percon, gets around the defender, gets around the second defender, takes a wraparound backhand shot, almost scores. Beautiful save by the goaltender. Best chance for Landon thus far, and it comes from the stick of Reed Percon, who I've been told the kids call RP3, which is a fantastic nickname for him, especially given we're in the Washington, D.C. area. Shades of RG3. Got to give the kids credit. They came up with it, not me. Here's Percon again with 40 seconds. Shot goes high and awry. They go in. Smink takes it away. He gets pinned against the boards. Nyberg tries to help him. Maddox tries to help him. And the puck comes out to center ice. 25 seconds to go. Prep with it. Sends it back to number 14. Tries to tee it up for himself. They were just newly on the ice from a change. Percon sends it out of the way. Looks for Silva, taken away from him by Prep. Back onto the stick of Percon. He'll just pop it in. No icing. That'll be how this period ends. 0-0 is your score. Watch the teams at their benches between the periods. Now Landon will be shooting to our left in this period. Shot show on the board 13-7. Again, seems pretty representative and pretty accurate. No huge scoring chances for either team. Just a couple. Now, what we've typically seen in a lot of these games is tight first periods, and games really start to come alive second and third period after the teams get a little bit tired and a little bit used to what's going on. "15-minute show on the board. They'll be blowing the whistle any second. Get the teams back out there to play the second period. We'll have a ice clearance after the second, between the second and third. We'll take a few minute break and move the camera so the kids can get off the ice." Coach Parker talking to the whole pile of lads. See Blazer with his jacket on. Coakley dressed. Now, these teams met last year in the MAPHL semifinals. They met in the regular season, tied the game 4-4, as Landon needed that game to win the regular season title, which they did for the IAC. They did not meet in the IAC playoffs. Georgetown Prep lost to Bullis, just as they did this year. Landon beat Bullis in the IAC finals. But they met in the MAPHL quarters, in the semis last year, and Prep put a real hurting on Landon. Hopefully we don't see the same kind of thing this year. It was one of the worst games Landon has played in a couple of years. They spent probably a third or more of the game in the penalty box. Here's a clearance by Prep. They look to send it across, blocked away by the stick of Haberl. He'll skate it away, 1-on-3. Kinzer joins him. He takes a hit. Get the score back on there for you. We got a whistle. Face-off is going to be deep. The Prep zone. I believe that was an icing. Face-off controlled by Landon, but they have to go to center ice to get it. Nyberg shoots it in. Moore, Binner, and Jambardino up front. Moore fights for it. He gets it over to Binner in the corner. There's a centering pass. Popped away. Binner recovers his own pass. Goes behind the net. Looks for somewhere to go. Kicked in with the skate of Smink. Winds and fires. A deflection goes just wide of the net as Prep clears the puck. Jambardino will be the first to it and wisely clears it out of harm's way. 13:44 to go. Second period. Scoreless game. If Jambardino sends it in, that's going to be an offside on Landon. I believe it hit Moore, who was in an offside position. We'll have a face-off outside the zone. This game is hurting for a goal. Looks we got too many men on the ice for Landon. They're going to let Coakley serve the penalty. He'll probably skate right off as soon as the 2 minutes are up. Percon takes the faceoff, won by Prep, 1:55 to go on the power play. They wind and fire. Save off the pads by Rosenstock. You can hear it. So can I. Here's Haberl. He looks to bring it out. He will. He'll send it in. Kill some time on the penalty. That's the first power play for either team, and it belongs to Prep. They send it deep. 1:35 to go on the penalty. Chipperfield goes in the corner to get it. Helped out by Haberl behind the net. Taken away by Prep. They wind and fire from a sharp angle. Shot is tipped wide along the near boards. 1:15 to go in the period. There's a centering pass that's knocked away, kept in by Prep. Onto the stick of Damoud, and he clears it with 1 minute and 3 seconds left on the power play. Landon will get a change. And here comes Prep along the near boards. They send it in. Chipperfield goes into the corner to try to retrieve it. He pins the Prep player against the board. 2-on-1, there it is. Prep comes away with it. They wind and fire. Save by Rosenstock, and he gets the whistle. 43 seconds to go on the power play. 12:13 to go, second period. No score. Landon sends out Owen Moore, Binner, Kaufman, and Smink to try to kill the final 43. Face-off control by Landon. Kaufman with it. Gets around one defender and sends a long clearance all the way down the ice. Prep on their horse to get it. Number 14 recovers the puck. Looks for somewhere to go. Rattles it around for number 22 along the far boards. He looks for somewhere to go up ahead. Stood up by Kaufman momentarily. They put a centering pass, and they score. Puck deflected into the slot, and Prep was there first and fired the puck along the ice into the back of the net. That was a puck bounce opportunity there for Prep. And as we've said before, because we're rooting for Landon pretty heartily, every goal scored by an opponent we consider to be a lucky goal. That one bounced off a couple of legs onto the player's stick, and he buried the chance. We got the goal we were looking for, just not on the right side of the board. Face-off control by Landon. Damoud sends it in. He's out there with Percon and Maddox. The puck comes up into the netting right above my head. Mr. Smink will get it and hand it to the referee. Percon out there with Damoud and Maddox. Haberl and Chipperfield on defense. Face-off control by Prep. They try to clear it. Percon comes away with it. Goes around a couple players, taken away from him. 3-on-2 forming for Prep. Haberl back with Chipperfield. Centering pass blocked by Haberl. Recovered by Damoud. Time to bring it back the other way for Landon. 2-on-3. Damoud and Percon shot stick to side by the goaltender. They look to clear and will with 11:08 to go. First period. 1-0 Prep in the lead. Now, we saw Landon come back from a 2-0 deficit in the IAC finals. So that's nothing new to them. Here comes Haberl, sends a centering pass up, knocked away by Prep. That was a big hit right in front of us. I saw that coming from a mile away. I was a good 6 feet away from that one by the time they hit the boards. There's Haberl with this shot, saved by the goaltender. Haberl trying to take over the game a little bit here. Sends it back to Smink. Winds and fires. That puck knuckles just over the bar off the deflection from the shot. McShane chases it, and that puck goes into the netting. We're going to have a face-off deep in the zone. To get my hand warmers out. A little cold in here. And I'm at ice level, so it's even colder than usual. Face-off control by Landon. Smink winds and fires off the arm of the Prep player who tries to shake it off. It's cleared by Prep. Kaufman back along with Smink. He'll recover it behind the net, sends it over to Binner along the near boards. You can't see him, neither can I. He's trying to break it out, kept in by Prep. Number 8 with it, goes toward the net, blocked away from him by Smink. Puck loose in front of the net, popped behind the net by Smink. 3 players look for it. Kaufman sends it up to Jambardino. Throws a hit on the Prep player. Puck recovered by Kaufman. He winds and fires. Save off the glove by Prep. They look to clear. Smink with it. 9:23 to go. We're almost halfway through this game. Landon hasn't found the back of the twine yet. It's a clearance attempt kept in by Genzer and Moore. Clearance attempt onto the stick of Smink. He sends it back in off Genzer, and that's going to be an offside. Shots on the board show 15-10 in favor of Landon. Comes Chipperfield, backhands it in, poked away by the stick of the goaltender off the rolling puck. Comes out to Nyberg. He sends a shot toward the net. Saved by the goaltender off the rebound shot by Damude, I believe. It's a good quality save by the goaltender there. One of Landon's better scoring chances of the game. Perkon with it. Sends a long pass up to Damude. 2-on-2 with Genzer. Gains the zone, winds and fires, and saved by the goaltender. Prep goalie dancing a little bit. He's got the shutout going. He's a little loose over there. Puck along the near boards, far board, recovered by Haberl. Looks to spin it back the other way. You get some Keystone Cops result. 2 Prep players knocked each other over. Haberl sends it in off the rebound from his own shot. Clearance attempt kept in by Bitterman. Prep looking to clear, and they do, recovered by Haberl. 7:51 to go. Rapidly approaching dead center of the game. Puck loose behind the net. Binner finds it. Tries to pop it out for Haberl. Ends up out of the zone, but recovered by Haberl. Senior sends it in. Goes right into the referee. And Prep comes out with it. They get around one defender. They try a backhand shot. It goes wide. Comes Owen Moore with it. He gets tripped, and there's their first call of the game in favor of Landon. Owen Moore draws the penalty. No complaint by number 6. Will head to the box. Landon will end up with your first power play of the game. Prep scored off their 1 power play opportunity. Landon sends out Perkon, Damude, Moore, Haberl, and Kaufman. Now, normally we would see Blazer out there as well, but Kaufman filling that role in his absence. Here comes Perkon with it. Puck is loose in the slot, cleared by Prep. Haberl goes back to get it. Already played a lot of minutes in this one, Haberl. Comes up to Perkon, protects it, gets pinned against the boards, fights for it, gets hit as he's trying to get the puck. Good play by Prep. Owen Moore with it. It's around the defender. Sends a pass up to Damude off his skate. Clearance attempt by Prep, kept in by Perkon. Haberl tries to send it back to him. It's knocked away from him. Prep brings it back out. They get it to Perkon. Center ice. All the way across to Haberl. Landon sends it in with 1:08 to go in the power play. Winds and fires. Shot save. Not sure if that one was on the net by Damu, but a save by the goaltender. Ends up behind the net. Moore fights for it. Comes out to the stick of Perkon and sends it over to Haberl. And it's cleared out by Prep with 48 seconds to go. Perkon will chase it down. Gains the blue line. Tries to send a pass over. Blocked by the skate of Prep. Haberl recovers. Poked away from him. Good penalty killing by Prep on this one. Chipperfield's going to try to wind him, fire it in. Taken away from him. He'll chase it down himself. And they clear it out once again with 15 seconds. Time for Landon to have one more push on the power play. Here's Binner. Sends it across. Finds Chipperfield. Winds and fires. Blocked in the slot by Prep. And they clear it out. And that'll be the end of the power play for Landon. Down 1-0 with 5:09 to go, second period. Here comes Bitterman. Gains the blue line. Takes on a defender. Sends a pass back to Binner. Taken away from him. Cleared by Prep. There's a shot that goes wide off the deflection. Recovered by, I believe, Smink. Cleared out by Landon. Sent back in by Prep. Chipperfield gets there ahead of everyone and sends it back to Smink. Jambardino gains the blue line. His shot gets blocked by Prep. They clear it out. Smink will get on his horse to get it with 4:25 to go in the period. Perkon takes a hit along the boards. Recovered by Smink. He winds and fires. Saved by the goaltender. He pops it up in the air and he gets the whistle. 4:03 to go. Second period. Landon down by a goal. Now Prep finished sixth in the Maple. Had to play the number 11 seed to get here. Took care of him yesterday. Playing back-to-back games, Prep. We'll see if they're a little fatigued by the third period. There's a shot that goes over the bar. Landon fights for it. Cleared out momentarily by Prep. Kaufman is going to get on his horse, and they'll call the icing. 3:42 to go. Second period. See if Landon can tie this one up before they head in for the break. Would do him good, give him some jump for the third period. You'll recall they went down 2 goals after one in the championship versus Bullis. Came back and scored 2 in the second. And then ultimately 3 in the third, including an empty netter. Prep, they head to the net. Shot goes just wide, it looks like. Here's Perkon. Winds and fires. Sticked aside by the goaltender. He gets the whistle. As soon as this period ends, I'm going to get this camera off the glass so the kids can come out. Here's Kaufman, winds and fires, shot dribbles wide. Silva fights for it in the corner. Onto the stick of McShane. Goes toward the net. Shot, it's deflected wide. Prep tries to clear. Kept in by Kaufman. He sends a long shot that gets sticked aside. Prep tries to clear. Comes out to number 16, Kaufman will retreat, so will Haberl. Goes all the way behind the net. Haberl gets there first. Winds it around the near boards for Maddox. He pops it out. Excuse me. Silva, he'll pop it out. Here's McShane. Winds and fires, deflected into the near corner. Recovered by Landon. Puck loose in the slot. Popped out of the zone by Prep. And Smink will go back to get it. Pirouettes, gets around number 6. Sends it up to Silva, can't handle. Prep's going to wind and fire. They put it behind the net for Nyberg, the freshman, to go get it. The long pass attempt to Moore, and that'll be an icing as no connection was made. 2 minutes left to go, second period. Face-off will be deep in the Landon zone. Shots on the board show 20-10 in favor of Landon. Just can't get one past this goaltender. Again, not too many major opportunities. A lot of them are relatively easy shots for the goaltender, but once they get some more traffic in front of the net, look for rebounds, something will come. Here's Binner with it. Send it along, recovered by number 11 for Prep. Delayed offsides, Landon catches back up. And they clear the zone onto the stick of Smink. Taken away off the clearance attempt. Here comes number 3 with it. He's had a couple of good opportunities with the left winger for Prep, wearing a number 3. He's gotten around a couple of defenders and headed toward the net from the left-hand side in the off wing. Here's Haberl back to Smink. Long pass for Binner. Sends it in. Poked away by Prep. They try to clear it. And that goes up into the ceiling. We'll have a whistle and another face-off with 1 minute, 9 seconds to go in the period. See who Landon sends out. Percon, Damude, Binnerman. Face-off controlled by Prep. Try to clear. Bitterman fights for it. And Landon sends it back in. 58 seconds to go in the period. Percon comes away with it, gets it back to Chipperfield. It's a shot that's deflected wide. Damude sends it forward, knocked away by the goaltender off the sharp angle. And Prep clears it out, sent back in by Landon. Here's Percon with it off the turnover. Up to Damude. Can't handle the pass. It was slightly behind him. Bitterman with it. 33 seconds to go. Looks for somewhere to go. Tries a backhand pass to Percon that's poked away by Prep. Recovered by Haberl. Bodies bouncing all over the place. Puck ends up behind the net. 20 seconds to go in the period. Recovered by Percon. Tries to get it to Damude. Whiffs on the shot attempt. Backhand shot. Ends up in the slot. Prep with it first. And they clear it out of danger with 7.9 to go. I'm going to move the camera right now so we don't get in the kids' way. They're probably not going to be happy as they walk off out of here. So rather than get steamrolled by them, I'll close it up now. Again, 7.9 to go. Face-off controlled by Prep. They're happy to just get out of the period with the 1-0 lead, which they will. We'll see in about 10 minutes. tough one so far, huh? Well, I mean, there's, they're not getting good opportunities to do this stuff. Obviously, a lot of shots. Just got two rebounds. We're going to get lucky eventually, right? We hope so. Something just feels like a little step slow. It seems like captain out there. It's like, all it takes is a bounce. Zamboni's about halfway done. We get at it in just a few minutes. We'll get the kids on the screen for you again, right as they're coming out on the ice. And then I'll move the camera again, get a better shot. So I'm in people's way where I'm standing right now. Zamboni's done. Referees aren't out here yet. Coaches for prep are on the bench. They want to get this going as quickly as possible, you'd imagine. Again, Landon's going to have to find a spark. We've seen a lot of that come from Haverhill. These games when they've been a little step slower than usual. See what they have in store for the third period. Usually the rest between the two periods does Landon some good. See him come out firing in the third period. For example, against St. John's, they were able to score 2 early in the third, take control of that game, and never look back. See what they can do here. Looks like they're ready to come out. The prep boys are fired up, ready to come out. Here comes Landon. There you go. Be able to see him. Be here any second. Get far out of the way. Here they come. Shot showing 21-10 on the board. Seems relatively accurate. Team's filing in. One referee just headed out onto the ice. Can't find his 3 mates. So, again, very sparse crowd. No students. Maybe 2. I think I see 2 or 5 students, depending on those. Other kids are students, mostly parents and grandparents. Crazy early start. First goal is up. Second goal is going up. They'll be waving them in a second. There they go. 1 period to see if we can extend the season by at least another game. Landon down 1-0 heading into the third. Yep, it's down. Okay. Blow it up a bit. Good view. And good view that way. All right, we're good. Now let's get it straight. Need to get a level. All right, here they go. Third period ready to start. Get the boys at center ice. Landon needs 2 at least to win this one. Perkon, McShane, and Damoud up front. We'll redo the face-off. Some good luck gum here, just like we did as another redo a face-off. Each team has had one power play opportunity. Prep capitalized on theirs. Landon did not on theirs. Face-off control by Landon. Send it forward, looking for Percon. Poked away from him. Hoffman gets it up to Percon again. And they clear it away one more time. Kaufman sends it up to McShane, taken away from him by number 3. Tries to go around Kaufman. Net looked momentarily off its moorings. Play continues. Percon gets around one defender, winds and fires. Shot saved by the goaltender to the delight of the Prep crowd, who seems to be here in large numbers, especially in comparison to Landon. Here's Prep with it. Comes right past us. They send it in. Smink recovers. Going to lead it out. Good play by Smink. Keeps getting around defenders, and he sends it in. It's a clearance attempt. Kept in by Nyberg. Winds and fires. Shot is deflected away from the slot. Recovered by Nyberg. And sent in by Moore. 13:45 to go. Landon needs a goal. They send one in. Percon with it. And here he comes. Gets around 2 defenders. Goes toward the net. Sends a centering pass. No one there. Silva with it. Finds Bitterman. Goes behind the net. Rubbed out of the play. Prep tries to clear. Goes along the far boards. Silva bothers the puck carrier, and they send it out. Chipperfield with it. Gets it up to Percon. Taken away from him and cleared. 12:53 to go. Prep in the lead. Landon having a tough time getting A1 scoring chances, although several shots on the board. Would do to get some traffic in front of the net and some worm burners from Smink or Kaufman. When in doubt, create some havoc in front of the net. Wind and fire from the point. Got several guys who can do it. Haberl, Kaufman, Smink. Even missing Blazer, you got a lot of firepower from the point. Here comes Giambardino, tries to center it. Taken away by Prep. And they send it up. That's going to be icing waved off at the last second. Owen Moore sends it in. 12:01 to go. Third period, Landon down by a goal. This Prep, they send it deep. Smink to get it. Puts on the brakes. Long pass up for Binner. Poked away from him. Puck along the far boards. Covered by Prep. And they send it in with the backhand. Smink over to Kaufman. Gets it back to Smink. Good forecheck by Prep. Smink gets away. Gets it up to Owen Moore. Off his skate. Smink recovers. A lot of work being done by Smink here, and they can't get out of the zone. There's a shot saved by Rosenstock. Face off deep in the Landon zone. 11:06. Percon, Damude, Genzer, Chipperfield, and Haberl. Face-off controlled by Landon. Haberl with it. Goes behind the net, gets around one defender, tries to take on a second, gets around a third, puts the puck off his own skate along the near boards, looks to make something happen, cleared out by Prep. Demuth sends it back in. Percon on his horse. Prep pirouettes with the puck, and they send it along the near boards and out of the zone, recovered by Haberl. Puck loose in the neutral zone, recovered by Landon, and they send it in. 10:31 to go. Landon not yet on the board. There's a penalty going to be against Landon. It's going to be on Genzer. He'll sit for 2. That's tripping is the call. Roughing is the call. Face-off will be deep in the Landon zone. Precarious situation for the Bears here. Down by a goal, looking to kill a penalty. Now, one would say an opportunity for a breakaway by Percon late in the penalty. If you can get him back on the ice and kill the first part of it. There's a shot that goes off the bar. And Landon clears it out. 1:50 to go in the power play. We'll count that down. Comes number 9. Winds and fires. Shot gets deflected over the net. Bounced in front of the net. Rosenstock couldn't find it. It was cleared out. That one took a weird bounce off the back boards. 1:31 to go in the power play. Number 3 for Prep gets ridden into the boards by Haberl. They recover the puck behind the net, send it back to number 13 at the point. He's going to look for somewhere to go. Winds and fire. Shot saved by Rosenstock through the screen. 1:14 to go in the power play for Prep. They bring it in. That's going to be an offside. Face-off will come out of the zone. 9:32 to go in the game. 1:08 in the power play. If Landon can kill this, there'll be 8:24 to go when they're skating back 5-on-5 if everything goes as planned. Landon wins a face-off. Kaufman goes back to get it. Winds it around the boards and goes all the way down for a clearance. Demuth on his horse. Icing is waved off. Smink goes back to get it. Looks for somewhere to go. It's bothered by a Hoya. Recovered by Demuth. Winds it around. Kicked in by Prep momentarily. Percon with it. Goes along the near boards. Gets around a defender. Shoots. And he scores! Just as we said, the danger on a power play is you're vulnerable for a breakaway the other way, and that's exactly what happened. Landon ties this up at 1 with 8:54 to go. 29 seconds remain on the power play. Percon needs a breath. He does it again. 1-1 is your score. Prep wins the faceoff. They send it deep. Recovered by Smink. Tries a clearance. Kept in by Prep. Kept in by Prep one more time. Here's a centering pass. Taken away by Percon. 15 seconds to go on the power play. He's going to try to take on 2 defenders. Gets around 1. Winds a fire. Shot just goes wide. Demuth with the puck. That will be... Icing is waved off. Genzer's out of the box. Puck is loose on the side of the net. It's a new ball game here with 8:18 to go. I believe we have the net off its moorings by a lot, by about a foot. That net down there doesn't stay on for anything. Okay, so we'll set the stage for you. 8:18 to go. Shots on the board show 24-12 in favor of Landon. Score on the board shows 1-1. See if Landon's got a spring in their step after the goal. They send it in. There's a whistle. We'll see what the whistle's for. Not sure they're going to call a penalty. I think they might just say that they thought a player was injured and blew the whistle. We'll see. I didn't see anybody get hit. I saw 2 players go down. Moore ended up down after holding up from not hitting the player who was in a vulnerable position. That's the way I remember it. Both players ended up down, but the whistle was blown. Faceoff will be deep in the Landon zone. Owen Moore will take it. Controlled by Prep. They wind and fire. Puck goes off a skate, and Bitterman with it. It's a nice pass over to Maddox. Good play by Bitterman. Maddox tries to do something with it, ends up behind the net. Landon tried to keep it in. Maddox on his horse. Nice recovery for his defenseman who was caught forward on the play. There's Chipperfield. Sends it up to Maddox. He pokes it away momentarily. Comes back to center ice. 7:33 to go. Tie game. Nyberg with it. Maddox. Prep gets a change. They send it on the net. Sticked aside by Rosenstock. Bitterman fights for it. Covered by Prep. Wind and fire. Shot goes wide. Number 13 with it. He sends it back in for his mate. Centering pass. Comes all the way out to number 9. Can't handle it off his foot. Centering pass. Good pressure by Preps on this shift. Kept in by number 11. Sends it toward the net. Rosenstock fights for it. Landon tries to clear, and they do. That's going to be an icing with 6:46 to go. Landon will try to get a fresh 5 on the ice. That was a tough shift for them. Percon comes out. Damoud and McShane. Now we've seen McShane and Damoud in addition to Percon with the scoring touch. That's a good line. They've done a lot of production this year when paired together. Typically you see Damoud with Percon, but from time to time you've seen McShane paired up as well, especially in the absence of Coakley. Here comes Damoud. Gets it up to Percon. McShane needs to get back because he's offside. Percon will skate it around. Looks for somewhere to go. Gets it over to Haberl. Pass back to Percon. Eludes him. He goes in the corner to get it. 6:26 to go. Tie game. Comes out to Chipperfield. He winds and fires off a skate into the far boards. Recovered by Damoud. He'll do the right thing and try to send it in. Here comes Prep. There's a shot that's gloved easily by Rosenstock, and he'll do the right thing and hold on to it. Get the face off. 6:05 to go. Crowd is starting to fill in. Owen Moore out there with Jambardino and Binner. Smink and Kaufman on defense. Puck loose, recovered by Moore. Gets it up to Jambardino. He winds around, gets it up to Binner. Nice play by Binner and Jambardino. 5:45 to go in the period. Out to the point. Kaufman sends it back in. Binner tries to center it, taken away by Prep. He'll bring it back the other way. We wind and fire. That ends up into the ceiling, so we'll get another face-off. Now we got to say thanks to Nance McShane, who sent us some maple syrup from Vermont by way of Mr. McShane, Jack McShane's dad. So we'll have to make some pancakes this week and tell you how it is. We really appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying this. There's one sent around. Bitterman with it. Nice pass over to Silva. He takes a hit. Puck still loose along the far boards. Recovered by Percon, being double shifted. He looks for somewhere to go. Gets it back to Smink. Sends it behind the net. Silva fights for it. Ends up in the corner. Percon joins the fray. 5:10 to go on the clock. And they clear it. Poked away from Kaufman as he tried to get around a couple of defenders. Smink with it. Gets it up to Bitterman. Beautiful pass to Perkon from Bitterman. Gets around the defender. Gets around a second defender. Poked away from him finally. Perkon trying to take on a few at a time here. Just needs to get loose once, as we saw with the the shorthanded goal. There's a clearance attempt by Prep. Goes all the way down. Chipperfield with it. 4:32 to go. Third period. Tie game. Quarterfinals of the Maple. Winner goes to the Gardens Ice House on Friday. Time to be determined. Losers go home for the season. Of course, seniors won't be playing high school hockey again. Always emotional the last game of the season when a team loses. It means more than just a loss. It means the end of your career for the seniors. Damoud with it. Speaking of seniors, out there with Maddox, also a senior. Habrel, senior as well. Gains the blue line. Goes along the far boards. Winds and fires off the helmet of the goaltender to Mask. That puck ends up covered by the goaltender. Prep throws a body on Maddox. No penalties called. Tempers flaring with 4:05 left in a tie game. Maple quarterfinals. Landon sends out Perkon, Bitterman, Habrel, and Chipperfield. Prep comes out 2-on-3. Get it back to number 3. He takes a body from Perkon, ends up with the puck, sends it along for Binner. Brings it in along the far boards. Looks for somewhere to go. He's pinned against the boards. 3:42 to go in the game in regulation. Clearance attempt by Prep. Covered by Bitterman. Taken away from him by number 8. Going to bring it back the other way. Winds and fires. Saved by Rosenstock. Puck comes all the way out to the blue line. They wind and fire. They set up a shot on the side of the net. Stick just wide by the offensive player for Prep. Good setup by Prep there. Right on the doorstep. Rosenstock would have had no chance. No one was there to defend that play. Comes Prep. Poked away by Chipperfield onto the stick of Damoud. 3 minutes to go in regulation. Now, if there's overtime, there will not be a clearance of the ice. They'll just go right into it, and I believe overtime would be 5 minutes prior to a shootout. 5 minutes sudden death, that is. And then if no score, a shootout. New puck is asked for by the referee. This one will not be completely frozen. A little bit more dead than the usual. Tough to play with that one for the last few minutes of the game. Face-off controlled by Landon. Kaufman sends it along. Puck ends up behind the net. Prep recovers. They try to clear it. They cannot. Finally do. They're going to come out 3-on-3. Poked away by Landon. Here's Damoud. Gets around the defender. Knocked away from him. Puck along the near boards. They try to clear and do. 2:30 to go in regulation. There's a clearance kept in by Smink. There's Owen Moore. Gets floored. There's a shot by Maddox. It's blocked. 2:13 to go. And they send it in. Kaufman with it. Long pass by Smink to Moore. Up to Binner. Comes away with it. Winds and fires. Shot saved by the goaltender to the agreement of the Prep fans. To my right. 1:55 to go. Perkon out there with Binner and I believe Jambardino, Chipperfield, and Habrel on defense. Binner with it. Gets into the slot. Perkon fights for it. Taken away from him. They come out 3-on-3. Binner joins the fray and knocks the puck away. Onto the stick of Perkon, trailing the play. Gets around the defender, goes toward the net. Sends a centering pass that's poked away at the last second by Prep. 1:30 to go. And Prep sends it in. Haberl to go get it. Chipperfield. There's a centering pass knocked away by Perkon. And Haberl gets it up to Perkon, who's a little bit out of gas. Prep sends it in right in front of us. And Chipperfield comes away with it. 1 minute to go in the game. Haberl on the far boards. Takes a shot that just goes off the corner of the back of the net. 44 seconds to go. Owen Moore fights for it. Gets it up to Damoud. He winds and fires. It goes over the net. There's a clearance by Prep. It lead it out 2-on-3. Chipperfield back, as is Haberl. Chipperfield fins the player against the board. Owen Moore comes away with it. Intercepted. That's going to be an offside with 21 seconds to go. So we're probably, in the literal sense, next goal wins, regardless of whether it comes in the next 21 seconds or in the overtime. Landon sends out Owen Moore, Damude, Tripp, Silva, Kaufman, and Smink. Here's Kaufman, clears it out with the backhand. 13 seconds to go. Puck ends up in the Landon bench area. We'll have a whistle. They didn't need it because they're down a puck at this point. Got to figure it out. Here we go. 12 seconds to go. Face off at center ice. Kaufman with it. Poked away from him. Here comes number 7. Tries a centering pass. Knocked away by Smink. Puck goes into the corner. That'll be the way this regulation ends. We're in overtime. Shots on the board show 28-16 in favor of Landon. Took a shorthanded goal from Perkon off the breakaway to tie this one up midway through the third period. So both goals came on special teams plays. One shorthanded goal by Landon and one power play goal by Prep. I'll give you a second to recover here. The referees just came to the scores table to explain what the rules are. It's 5 minutes overtime, sudden death. So a goal ends it. As we saw, I believe, in the IAC semifinals last year. Semifinals, it was, in the IAC that is, it was semifinals, Perkon scoring last season against St. Albans in the semifinal in overtime to win. Then we saw Landon win the IAC finals last year in a shootout after going scoreless in the 5-minute overtime. Now we've seen Landon win in the semifinals 2 seasons ago against DeMatha in shootout fashion. Perkon, Damude, and Maddox out there with Kaufman and Haberl. 5 minutes on the board. Referees discussing where the face-off will be. It'll be just outside the blue line. After the puck was cleared into the bench. Face-off controlled by Prep. They send it all the way in. Haberl on his horse to get it. Comes Perkon. Leads a 2-on-2 with Maddox to his right. Blows a tire. Kaufman with the backhand. Tries to get it up to Perkon. He does. Perkon finds Damude. Gains the blue line. Heads in. Chops it deep for Haberl to get it. He gets rubbed out along the boards. Tries to recover. Does. Sends it all the way back to Kaufman. Keeps it in. Puck loose in the corner. Prep will get there first. Binner tried to block it. Ended up onto the stick of number 8 for Prep. Winds and fires. I think it hit Rosenstock's glove and then hit the post and went into the netting. I think he's shaking his head. That puck knuckled on him and ended up hitting the post or the crossbar. Either way, it's part of the equipment, as any goalie will tell you. No goal. There's Smink behind the net. 3:35 to go in the overtime. Smink with it. Knocked out of the zone. Oh, Bitterman fighting for it. Here's Smink. Winds and fires. Shot gets deflected. Here's a shot by Owen Moore off the side of the net. Smink fights for it. Binner recovers. Smink in the corner. Sends a centering pass up for Moore. Can't handle. Chipperfield with it. Chopped away by Prep. Smink back to his spot at the point. Recovers the puck. Winds and fires. Throws a worm burner up there. It's loose along the side of the net. Binner recovers. Good pressure by Landon. 2:56 to go. There's a shot that's blocked by Prep. They try to clear. Cannot. Kept in by Binner. Fights for the puck. And it finally comes out to center ice and sent back in by Landon. 2:43 to go. There's one that goes way over the net. Haberl with it. $2:25 to go. Onto the stick of Smink. Sets it up for Damude. Tries to send it up for Perkon. Recovers the puck along the far boards. Dances along the blue line. Takes it out. 2 minutes to go. Goes in. Winds and fires. Shot goes all the way up into the ceiling. And we have another face-off deep in the Prep zone with 1:57 to go. We're skating 5-on-5 in overtime hockey in the MAPHL quarterfinals. Live from the Bears Den in Rockville, Maryland. Perkon out there with Jambardino, Damude, Haberl, and Kaufman. There's Perkon with it. Tries to send it back to Kaufman. He winds and fires. Shot saved by the goaltender. Gets a whistle. I believe net off the moorings. It's my guess. Yep, net off the moorings. Could always take that bet on that side of the rink. $1:44 to go. Perkon, Damude, Jambardino, Haberl, winds and fires. Shot gets deflected, side of the net. 3 players fight for it. Perkon comes away with it. Sends it up to Jambardino. Winds and fires. Shot saved by the goaltender off the deflection. We'll have another whistle. Landon would be wise to take a timeout here. Get Perkon a breather. Get his line out there one more time with Damude. We'll see what happens. No timeout. Perkon will take the face-off. And they do. They take the timeout. Coach Parker and I think alike. Two geniuses, as you can tell. And what you'll probably see is Landon with a minute 32, face-off deep in the Georgetown prep zone. They'll probably throw out Percon, Damude, maybe Owen Moore, Haberl and Kaufman, or Haberl and Chipperfield. We'll see where it goes. Coach is drawing up a play on his board. Absolute silence here in the arena. No music. We hear people coughing and sneezing. It's that quiet in here. Shots on the board show 30 in the favor of Landon, 17 in the favor of Prep. Again, seems very accurate to us. Landon has had the run of play, although not too many grade A scoring chances. Referees ordering players off the benches. Get them out there and play this game. 1:32 separates us from a shootout. Georgetown Prep goaltenders played great game so far. Both goaltenders have. Percon, Binner, Damude, Haberl, and Kaufman. Face-off control by Prep. They look to clear it out. They wind it around. And here comes Prep. Kaufman with it. Tries to send it up to Damude. Puck ends up on the net. Rosenstock will get the whistle. 1:16 to go. Overtime. If we do a shootout, it will be 5 rounds each. Prep is taking their timeout with the face-off deep in the zone for Prep. They'll try to draw up a play here with the offensive opportunity. Again, silence once again. Now, if we were to take a wild guess, I have absolutely no idea who Coach Parker would put out as his 5 shooters. You have to imagine it would have to be Percon, Damude, Haberl. And who else from there is anybody's guess. They do shootouts from time to time in practice, so they have an idea who might be pretty good at it. It is a gimmick. No matter how you look at it, it's a gimmick. Coakley might be available because he wouldn't have to get hit. So Coakley is quite a stick handler and quite an offensive player. It would take a lot of guts for Coach Parker to throw the kid out there with the injury. Again, no concern of him getting hurt. But he hasn't been on the ice all game other than to serve the penalty, and he really hasn't touched the puck since warm-ups. You'd be asking the kid to go out there completely cold and put a move on the goaltender, but it is an interesting possibility to think about. Percon takes a face-off, controlled by Prep. They try to send it forward, intercepted by Percon. He gets a clearance up to Binner. Leads out a 2-on-2 with Damude to his right. Sends it over to Damude. Winds and fires. Save by the goaltender off the blocker. 1 minute to go in the overtime. 3 players, now 4, fight for it behind the net. Prep with it momentarily. They're going to try to clear. Kept in by Landon momentarily and knocked out onto the stick of Haberl. You got to assume Haberl would be one of the shooters in a shootout. Here comes a 3-on-3 for Prep. 30 seconds to go. Puck ends up along the far boards. They wind and fire. Saved by Rosenstock off the long shot. Here comes Binner. Gets it up to Haberl. He'll take on a defender. Gets around the net. Sends a centering pass. No one there for Landon. 10 seconds to go. Percon with it. Sends it up to Binner. 5 seconds to go. One last chance for Landon, and that's it. This is going to a shootout, whether you like it or not. That's how it's going to have to end. What we'll try to do here. Won't let me in? I'm going to come in there. I'm going to get out of the way here just in case this thing doesn't end as slowly as we'd like. I'm going to head into the penalty box, so I'll get out of everybody's way, and we'll get both shots clear as a bell. Very good. So we'll see who Coach Parker sends out. We'll get it much more close up. We'll redo the score. For the shootout. Okay. You're going to see all the action pretty close up. All right, goaltenders. Rosenstock will go to my left. And number 2 for Georgetown Prep will go to my right. Landon will skate from left to right in the face-off, in the shootout. We'll see who goes first. I assume there'll be a type of coin toss. Referees put the puck center ice. Looks like Percon is going to go first. Again, 5 rounds. This is the top of the first round. We got to wait for the whistle, and then you got to keep moving. Here comes Percon. Goes towards the net. Winds and fires. Save by the goaltender. Here comes Prep, number 3. We've seen him with some good offensive chances so far today. Whistle blows, and there he goes toward the net. Save by Rosenstock with the glove. End of round 1, scoreless. Landon sends out Graham Haberl, the senior defenseman, who shoots left-handed. Puck at center ice, and the whistle blows. Here comes Haberl. Top of the second round. Goes toward the net. And saved by the goaltender. As he was on his face, he got the leg up, made the save. Bottom of the second round, still scoreless. We'll see number 9 for Prep, bottom of the second round. Heads toward the net, and he scores. One nothing Prep after 2 rounds. And just as I said it, they're going to send out Coakley. Hasn't touched a puck in a game in 2 months. We'll see what he's got. Coakley heads toward the net. No goal. Puck stopped dead right on the line. Landon up against it here in the bottom of the third. Comes number 8, shooting from the left-hand side. Goes toward the net. Makes his move. And saved by Rosenstock. So we are still 1-0 at the end of 3 rounds. Damoud will take it in round 4. Landon desperately needs at least a goal in the next 2 rounds to keep this going. We'll see who their 5th shooter is. Their 4th is Christian Damoud, the senior. Whistle blows and he heads toward the net. Beautiful save by the goaltender with the glove. He is on absolute fire today. And he threw it up in the air and booted it with the pad for good measure. Georgetown Prep scores here. They win it. This is the bottom of the 4th. They're up 1-0 already. Here comes number 26, heads toward Rosenstock. Saved by Rosenstock. So all the pressure is on Landon shooter, Dash Kaufman, who'll take it in round 5. He needs the score here to keep this going. One chance for Landon to keep the tie. Top of the 5th round. No goals yet for Landon. And he heads toward the net. And they make the save again. Landon goes 0 for 5 in the shootout. Tough loss for the Bears. But whenever you head into a shootout, something always happens. Great season for your Bears. This is the last of it. Prep goes on to the semifinals. They congratulate Rosenstock. He had nothing to do with it. Made 3 out of 4 saves. Landon just could not get one past the goaltender who was on fire in this game and in this shootout. Season ends with a quarterfinal loss for Landon, a regular season IAC title, and a postseason IAC title, once again back-to-back, and a loss in the quarterfinals in the Maple. Excellent season, but this is how it ends. The Prep goaltender made several excellent saves in the shootout. And Coakley's ended up just on the line after he made the save, did not go over the line. And that's the way this one ends. We'll see you next season. It's been a great one, but every good thing has to come to an end sometime. Tough loss for your Bears. Let's just see them as they come off. You love your Bears in victory and in defeat. And they haven't had too many of them this season. Just a loss to a AAA Philly team at the showcase in Philly before Christmas. A loss to DeMatha, Gonzaga in the regular season, and now this loss to Prep in the Maple quarterfinals. You're watching Landon Bears hockey. We'll see you next season.